Hey everybody, so I am back with another episode of monthly, weekly manis, whatever this series has turned out to be. I don't know, I filmed another monthly manis, weekly manis video a couple days ago, but I think these might be out of order. I think I might end up posting this one before the other one because I just realized I started editing, yes, that sounds right. I started editing the video yesterday, day before, and I realized I'm missing a bunch of swatch photos, which stinks. So now I have to go back and re-swatch them so that I've got pictures, and so there's like 2 or 3 polishes in there that I don't have swatch photos for, so that's gonna take me a little bit of time to upload, to get swatched. So I think I may end up putting this video up first, even though they're gonna be out of order. I'm pretty sure I have all these polish swatched ready to go, so I think that way I don't, that way I'm not putting, you know, it's already been like a month or so since I put out a video, so I'm trying not to, I'd rather just get stuff up, and I'm sure you guys don't care if it's out of order, but anyway. So we're back for another couple weeks of manis. I'm hoping, I don't know if we're gonna be able to get all through these, but I've got them all laid out and we're gonna get through as many as we can. Like I said in the last video, which doesn't matter because you're gonna see this one first probably, I'm just gonna keep going until I hit around like the 30-minute mark, and then I'll stop. So that way, hopefully we'll get caught up here in the next couple weeks. It has just been, I've been having such trouble getting videos out. It's been raining nonstop for like the last 2 weeks, and when it's not raining, it's just been like dark and dreary, and so I get home from work and it's not ideal filming, you know, environment. So that is why I've been very behind on videos, but let's go ahead and jump in to some weekly manis. So this polish is from so I was very heavily into Femme Fatale when I first started collecting indie polishes, and I kind of fell out of love with them for a little while, but recently I've been a little bit more kind of like looking at their, what the heck is that? It's like an eyelash. I've been kind of being a little bit more aware of like what collections they're releasing and stuff like that, and I've picked up quite a few in the last couple months, more than I had been. It had been probably a good like maybe year that I didn't pick up any. I don't think I picked up really any last year, but yeah, so this particular polish I picked up with like 1 or 2 other ones. You would have already seen one. Have I worn the other one yet? I think I've worn all of them. I'm trying to think of what the other one is, but I can't think of it. So I'm pretty sure I've worn one at least. There might be one other one that's sitting there, but I'm pretty sure I've worn them all. So yes, I have worn them all. You've seen the other 2. So this is the last one that I picked up out of that set, and this was the some type of fairy tale collection. I've been really having a hard time thinking of collection names. Fairy tales and something or another collection. But anyway, it had a couple thermals in there, and I picked a couple up. You would have seen 2 already, as I mentioned. This is the last one that I picked up. This is called Prince Phillip, and Prince Phillip is this kind of like, it ends up being red on the nail, but it's a little bit, it's got quite a bit of pink in it, so I feel like in the viewfinder here it's coming up a little bit more red. But so on the nail, it is, this is going to be what it looks like in its cold state, so it's this very like just kind of like reddish pink color, almost like a, I want to say watermelon kind of red. Yeah, so this is what it looks like in its cold state. It does have this kind of like reddish gold shimmer that you see, and so basically when it warms up not to a totally clear polish, but it warms up to this like translucent color, and I don't really think the base is, I don't think the base has a color, but as you'll see here from the swatch, there's so much shimmer in it that when it warms up, the shimmer makes your nail kind of look like this like translucent reddy color. So I thought the polish was pretty. On my particular skin tone, I hated this so much. I hated this. I can't even tell you how much I hated this polish. It just, I did not think this looked good on my skin tone. It just made me, I don't know, something about, like when it was in the cold state it was fine, but something about that warm state, I just did not like it on my nail. It just looked really odd. So yeah, I don't want to complain about it because I thought it was a nice polish, but like for my skin tone, just something about that red shimmer just did not, I did not care for it at all. So this will definitely be in a D-stash, but like I said, it's a really nice polish. For me, it was not good. So that again is Prince Phillip. Next up, so since that one was really, really terrible, we had to go with like a tried and true polish. So I busted out Zoya's Saint. Saint is probably, if you are new to my channel or haven't caught several of my Zoya videos, Saint is probably in my top 3 Zoya polishes of all time. I wear this, you know, at least once a year, so it's getting to be that time of year that I wear this polish. It's just a beautiful like periwinkle blue with this gorgeous kind of pink, this like gorgeous pink shimmer that you can see here. It is a little bit of a thinner polish, so you do need 3 coats, but the 3 coats are very nice, even application, and I really highly suggest doing the 3 coats because that 3rd coat just really makes that pink shimmer just glow off the nail, and it's so, so, so pretty. I love this polish so much. I'm so glad over the last couple years people have started talking about it more, because I feel like before I started filming YouTube videos, this just did not get enough love, and I really, really, really enjoy it. So that again is Zoya's Saint. Next up is a Cirque polish. This, and I think this is the first one out of the set that I've worn. So Cirque released a few more polishes in their Metropolis line, which is kind of their permanent line. They released like 3 or 4 new polishes in that collection, and so I picked up, I want to say 3. I think I've picked up 2 or 3, and this is the first one that I've worn from that set. This one's called Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt is a really interesting kind of like neutral. In the bottle, it has definitely like this neutral feel. Like when I first bought it, I thought it was just going to be kind of like this pale, this like pale neutral kind of yellow color. But on the nail, it ends up coming off as like this muted mustard yellow. Ooh, it was so, so, so pretty. I feel like the swatch photo, no matter how hard I tried, made it look way more yellow than it actually is. It just is this beautiful, like, mustard, like dusty mustard yellow, which sounds very odd, but that is what it is. It just has a little bit more yellow in it than I feel like the bottle doesn't necessarily, you wouldn't really necessarily see that from looking at the bottle. It just has like this little bit of a yellowness to it, and it was so pretty. Beautiful formula. Another one of those kind of like neutral polishes, neutral kind of like out of the box type neutral polishes. I love this one very much, more than I thought I was going to, because these like pale yellow colors are sometimes hard for me to pull off. I will mention that in some lights this did have like a green tinge to it, so when I did get it in those lights, which I feel like it went when it was in like real lighting, it had a little bit. So when I was in the office and I was in kind of the fluorescent lighting, it had more of this like mustard yellow color. But I will mention that in like actual sunlight, not direct sunlight, but just in natural lighting, it does have a slight kind of like green tinge to it, which I didn't really care for, but I will put up with it just because I thought this color was really pretty. So that again is Vanderbilt from Cirque Colors. And now we're gonna be getting into, so I purchased a crap ton of color clubs about a month or so ago. If you follow me on Instagram, I did do an Instagram story. I picked up, they had a sale, and I don't know why. I think it's just because I've been like really into their halo hues, and so I saw somebody posted, somebody sucked me in with a swatch photo. Somebody had purchased like a whole set of their neon pastels, and just the way the pastels were, you know, like lined up in rainbow color order, I got sucked in, and I was like, oh, I need to buy those. And they were having a sale of like something like 40% off or something like that. So I ended up buying a lot. I think I bought, they have 2 neon pastel collections. They have one from a couple years ago, and they just released a new one. So I picked up, I think I picked up a few from each one. So I think I ended up picking up like 10 or 12. And so I feel like here in the last couple weeks, I have been wearing a bunch just because I'm trying to like get through a bunch of them before springtime. You know, I could probably wear some of these in the summer, but A lot of these have like a pastel quality, obviously, because they're neon pastels. So I've been trying to wear a bunch of them so I can get through them before spring leaves us. So the first one that I wore from that purchase is this purple color, obviously. And this one is called Diggin the Dancing Queen. And this one is from their older neon pastel collection. And so I feel like, and I will mention that most of these swatch photos do not do the color justice. Something about that neon quality, they just do not photograph very well. So most of the swatch photos, I tried to get them as color accurate as I could, but most of them I feel like just didn't come off as accurate as I would have liked. But I feel like in the viewfinder here, this is looking pretty accurate. So maybe just like slightly washed out a little bit just because I'm in the light here. But this is just a really beautiful like pastel lavender color, and it was so beautiful on the nail. I was pretty impressed with these formulas for a mainstream polish, kind of like I mean, it's not a Zoya quality formula by any means, but it is slightly tricky. It is a little thin. It does have some like self-leveling issues, but I feel like just a really good top coat kind of smooths all of it out. But I feel like if you're not careful, this could flood cuticles. If you don't apply, I usually apply my coats pretty thick, but I feel like if you applied very thin coats, these could look patchy in some places. So the formula to me was fine, just because I feel like I kind of got an idea of what to do with it. But if you're new to polish, if you don't, you know, if you're not really well experienced in different formula, you know, what's the word? Not texture, but if you're not used to different formulas, like I feel like you might have trouble with these, but I didn't find them to be terrible. I was actually pleasantly surprised for neons and pastels, and that they're kind of more of a mainstream brand. I assumed that these were going to be pretty terrible, but they weren't awful by any means. So I was really impressed with this one. I thought the color was just gorgeous, really vibrant, and I wouldn't necessarily, I mean, I've never had a neon pastel. I don't know if I have a whole lot in my collection, so I was expecting them to be a little bit more neon, but it was bright, it was pastel. I guess maybe in my eyes I was thinking it was going to be a little bit more like eye searing on the nail, but actually I'm kind of glad it wasn't, because that probably would have been a little bit too overwhelming to me. So I actually ended up liking this one a whole lot. So this one is Diggin the Dancing Queen. And then the next one that I decided to wear from Color Club is a very, very popular one. This is called Hot, 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 Hot Pants. And this one I've heard, I feel like someone has said that this is close to Flip Flop Fantasy from China Glaze, and it is not close. I didn't compare them, but this is not close. This is a lot lighter of a peachy coral color, but anyway, this color is really, really pretty. It's just this really pretty, like, peachy coral color. I didn't love the formula on this one. The formula was pretty terrible. Most of these had self-leveling issues, but this one by far, I mean, I haven't tried all of them, obviously, but this one by far was the worst one that I experienced, and I've worn, looks like I've worn 5 so far, and this one was by far the worst. So I feel like I would probably put up with it because the color was pretty, but for being such a popular color, I feel like not many people have mentioned the fact that the formula on this is pretty terrible. So just be aware. I probably would put up with it, but I could see some people hating this just because the formula was kind of obnoxious, but I thought the color was really pretty. So hot, 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 hot pants. And then I decided to take a break from the neon pastels and bust out another of the Zoya Innocence collection polishes that I picked up. I featured 1 or 2 in the, I think only 1. No, I've featured 2. I featured 2 in the last weekly manis that I filmed, but I think you're gonna see this one first. This one is Fern, and Fern is a very interesting color. It's kind of like a sage, it's kind of like a dusty sage color, but it's got like a little bit of gray in it. So I feel like that color on the viewfinder is not accurate at all. So yeah, it's just kind of this like swampy kind of like sagey green with a little bit of gray in it. And it does also have this gold shimmer, which I hope you can see there. Yeah, there it is. The gold shimmer shows up just slightly, but Again, for somebody who's a shimmer addict, I really wanted that shimmer to show up a little bit more. But I thought this was nice. I wish Zoya would just like throw in just a smidge more shimmer. There's a lot of these polishes where I'm like, oh, I really wish that shimmer would show up a little bit more. But yeah, this is another good one from Zoya. For people that like greens, I think this is a very unique colored green. Again, kind of one of those neutrals with a little bit of something to it. So very interesting color to add in my collection. That again is Fern from Zoya. Another tried and true polish that I wear pretty much regularly every year. This one is called Superior from Picture Polish. This one is just like a cornflower blue with a scattered or silver? Scattered. So cornflower blue with a little scattered hollow. I hate their bottles because you can never see the polish because there's just so much writing on them. But I really love this polish. I enjoy the formula. I love the color. It's just one of those kind of standard polishes that I love in my collection. And I think Just Face, this was a collab with Just Face. I think this was before she even did her 9-0 collection, her 9-0 brand. So very good one to add if you ever see a discount. I try not to buy these full price, so if you ever see, you know, a sale on these, this is a good one I would highly recommend. So next polish up is going to be one that I picked up in the polish pickup in April, which April, I want to say was like paintings or art themed. And I feel like I mentioned this in a video, a couple videos ago, but I have not been purchasing from polish pickup very often. And if I do, I've definitely decreased how many I've been buying. I feel like this month I only bought this one, and I don't think I bought any for May. And yeah, I've just been very much like, I just feel like they've been kind of like, they're not super unique recently. I've just been feeling very uninspired by them. But this one I thought was really interesting. So this is a brand that I've never tried before. I want to say it's called Jior, because I want to pronounce it like Dior, because it's spelled like that, J-I-O-R. So we're going to go with Jior. That's probably wrong, but that's what we're going to go with. And this one, I feel like is probably a French word that I'm probably going to butcher, but Lapech 1981, I think is how you pronounce it. Forgive me if that's wrong, but so I thought this one was really interesting looking when I saw the swatch on the website. So this is a quad is that right? A quad thermal? That sounds weird. I don't know if that's right, but anyway, it's supposed to be a 4-colored thermal. And now off the top of my head, I can't think of all the colors that were in it, but I want to say obviously it was this like pale yellow color. I want to say there was a blue. I want to say there was purple and a pink maybe, or like a green, like a minty green. And I'm too lazy to look it up because moral of the story, this polish sucked ass. It sucked so bad. I did not get even like I barely got 2 colors on this. So so this is the polish in its cold state. It's this kind of like, it's kind of similar to Vanderbilt, maybe like not as yellow. It's got like a green tinge to it, but it's that kind of just like dusty, kind of like pale yellow color. It does have this really interesting red shimmer in it. Is that right? Sorry, my lighting is starting to go a little bit. Yeah, I want to say, yeah. So it has this like red shimmer, which I'm hoping you're gonna be able to see. I feel like you can kind of see it there. So I didn't love this color in its cold state on me. As I mentioned with Vanderbilt, this like milky muted yellow color, just, I have a pink undertone in my skin, so these colors are always really tricky for me. So I thought this base color was not great, and it just kind of made my hand look a little sickly and gross. The shimmer was kind of nice, but against this base color, again, I just didn't really care for it. And periodically throughout the day, you would get like a faint color difference. Like you could slightly see the like bluish purple color kind of show up, which you'll see here. It just barely showed up. And that was it. That is all I got. I didn't even get, if I washed my hands if I washed my hands, I think that purple color showed up like slightly more, but I didn't get any of those other two colors. So that's why I can't even remember what the other two colors were, because they didn't change on me. This didn't change on me at all. And so while, you know, it's like, now that thermals are becoming more popular, it's like, you know, I'm really into thermals, and I'm interested in different color combinations and these tri-thermals and stuff, but you know, if it's gonna take really hard manipulation to get these to change, I don't want them. Like, don't show me a swatch of 4 colors if they're not gonna change in regular daylight. Like, if they're not gonna change in regular body temperatures. Like, I'm not gonna have my hand in, like, you know, boiling water all day, and I'm not gonna have my hand, and my hands, I work in an office setting, and it's like freezing cold all day, and so the fact that it was freezing cold and this didn't change barely at all, and then even when I went outside, it barely changed anything. So it's just like, you know, it's cool that you can make a polish change to 4 colors, but I don't want to buy a $15 polish if it's gonna, like, you know, I'm not doing science experiments on my nails all day. I'm not, you know, I want it to be able to change to those colors in actual in actual daily life. So I am very unhappy with this polish. I am so angry that I purchased it, and I think I saw somebody else mention that theirs didn't change either. So if you also had difficulty with this, please let me know, because I want to make sure I'm not, you know, bitching about it for no reason. But yeah, this was really bad. It will be getting destashed. So that again is Lapech 1981. Sorry, that was really long. Okay, we're getting close. I don't know how many more of these we're gonna be able to do. Okay, I've been talking too much. So this polish, I wore at the beginning of May because I've had it for about a year. I picked it up in the polish pickup last May and I hadn't worn it yet, so I figured it was the beginning of May, so I needed to wear it. This is from Polish for Days, and it is called It's Gonna Be May, and it was from, again, the May polish pickup, which was 90s themed. It's in sync, so it's gonna be May. Yeah. So, this one I really wore just because I knew I needed to wear it. This is definitely not a May polish for me. This is more of like a winter fall shade. So it's kind of this, the base color on it is kind of this like medium gray, but you don't really catch it very much. All you really get on the nail for the most part is this really pretty red shimmer, and there's also some multi-chrome pieces in there. So this is very pretty. It's the wrong time of year for me to be wearing this. So I didn't love it as much as I would have liked, but I knew it was an untried, and I figured if you're not going to wear it for, you know, May 1st, then when are you going to wear it besides the fall and winter time? So I figured I would go ahead, and I saw a bunch of other people wearing it, so it kind of inspired me to, you know, go ahead and get it on my nails. So it's gonna be May from Polish for Days. Next up is another color club. This one is called Under the Blacklight. I believe this one also came out in the older Neon Pastel collection. And this one's interesting. It's like a highlighter yellow, but with like, it's like not as bright. So it's got like a little bit more green in it. I'm trying to think. Yeah, it's just like slightly more green toned, and so it's just not as like, you know, flashlight looking on the nail, I guess. So I actually ended up really liking this. I thought this was gonna be a little bit too crazy for the day. I feel like this is it's coming up a little bit greener on the viewfinder than I'd like, but yeah, it's just a really pretty kind of, it's kind of, if you like highlighter greens, but you can't deal with like the neon quality, like they're too bright for you. I thought this one was a nice kind of in between. It's definitely bright, but it's not too bright. I could wear it to the office and I didn't feel like too crazy, you know, wearing it. So just a little bit more subdued of a color. That green definitely helps, and decent enough formula, kind of similar to that purple one that I was mentioning earlier. Just like kind of runny, little bit self-leveling problems, but not terrible. Next up is another yellow. I feel like I've been wearing a lot of yellows this month. Yellow is definitely not a color that I wear a lot. So this particular yellow is called Hustle. It is from Cirque Polish. I picked this up when I was grabbing those other Metropolis polishes that I was mentioning earlier. This one I've seen on the website for like a really long time, and I always am intrigued with it and never end up buying it. And so the reason I bought it was because it was on sale. As I was buying those Metropolis polishes, they were having like a 20% off sale on polishes, on select polishes. So I decided it was 20% off, I should just go ahead and buy it. So it's kind of a like chartreuse green, but definitely not as green, and it's got like a little bit of a dustiness to it. So really enjoyed this one. Formula was nice on it. So just an interesting green to add to my collection. Don't see a lot of people talking about it, so I thought it was interesting. If you want to see it, I don't have it in here, but there's another Cirque Colors polish that's kind of close. But yeah, so definitely not as green, but it definitely comes off a little bit. It definitely comes off like a chartreusey kind of color on the nail, but yeah, as you can see here, just not as green. So interesting color. That again is Hustle. Decided to bust out another standard Zoya polish. This one is Aurora. And Aurora, like Saint, is probably one of my top 3 Zoyas, but I realized I hadn't worn it in a while. I'm not sure why. It's just, I've got too many damn polishes to wear, and I kind of forget about some of my good ones. So I decided to bust out Aurora. This one, I still love. When I wore it this time, I should say I was in a hurry, and so I only wore 2 coats of this, and this is one of the thinner formulas on the Scattered Hollows from Zoya, so you definitely need 3 coats. So the reason I didn't like it as much this round is I think it's because I didn't do that extra 3rd coat because I was being lazy. But this one definitely needs a 2nd coat. I think it's just not quite opaque enough, so you don't get as much of a galaxy-like effect on the nail. So yeah, definitely 3 coats. Coming up a little, my lighting is starting to go, unfortunately, so I feel like this isn't going to be totally accurate, but this is just a warmer purple. Zoya has a couple. There's this one, Aurora, which is more of like a warmer purple, but there also is Finley, which is a cooler colored purple. Now, like I said, this does have a thinner formula. You need 3 coats, but I actually don't mind doing the 3 coats most of the time, except for this time when I only did 2. Most of the time I don't mind doing the 3 coats because some of the Scattered Hollows in Zoya's collection, they're so thick that I feel like you lose some of the Scattered Hollow effect. So I would rather do thinner coats and get the full effect of the hollow than to lose it in the base color. So I actually don't mind that. It's just I was running short on time and was being lazy. So I'm sorry this is getting washed out a little bit, but hopefully you guys have seen Aurora multiple times. It is a gorgeous one. I love it a lot. That is Aurora. Next up is a 9-0 polish. I'm still working my way through the Smoothie Bar collection. I think I've got like 1 or 2 other ones. I don't have the whole collection, but I did buy quite a few last summer, and I've really been enjoying them. So I copycatted Kendra. She wore this a couple weeks before, and so it was on my mind, and I decided to go ahead and bust it out. This is probably more of a summer polish for me, but you know, whatever. I've been wearing a bunch of like neon pastels, so I feel like I've been moving a lot faster into the kind of summery, brighter polishes than I usually do this time of year. But so Pomegranate Refresher is a just like corally pink color. Definitely a lot more orange. This is it up against Hot Pants. So definitely more of a orangey coral. And the Smoothie Bar collection has these gorgeous kind of black shard pieces in there, so it's so pretty. This is a great formula on it too. I've had kind of mixed results with the Smoothie Bar. Some have been kind of thick and hard to apply, and others have been really smooth and easy. This is definitely one of the smooth. Anyways, like I was saying, I think this came out in the more recent Smoothie Bar collection. She did like a full collection of Smoothie Bar, and then last year she released like 2 or 3. So this might have been part of the newer collection. That might be why the formula is a little bit better. But yeah, this was a good one. Really enjoyed it. Pomegranate Refresher from 9-0. Another Color Club. This one is called I'm Out of Here, and I can't remember if this is from the newer one or the old neon pastel, but this one, not quite as neon as the rest of them, but it's still a brighter kind of like dusty aqua color. So I really enjoyed this one. I feel like it's coming up a little too green here in the viewfinder, but these are so hard. Even in the video, like in the video and swatches, I feel like you just need to get them in person because I think the some of these swatches just don't do them justice, but I feel like when I hold them back here, it seems like it's a little bit more accurate than it is here. I was changing out the battery on my camera because it died, and I thought I would show you what the, what Linus is doing right now. Ooh. Everyone's looking at you. You look like a weirdo. I don't know if he looks as weird because you guys are looking at him upright, but he's literally like, ooh, I'm trying to hold the camera all weird. Yeah, he's sleeping in this. I said this in the other video, but that's the top to his cat carrier, and for some reason he likes to sleep in it. So, but anyway, oh, memory card dies, battery's dying. But yeah, anyway, it's just a really nice kind of like muted aqua color. It's really pretty. Very much enjoyed that one. This is so far with the color clubs, I feel like this green one and this purple one have been, that's a pretty color combination, but these two have been my favorite so far. And then the last one that we're going to talk about, because I'm going to run out of time, this one I just recently picked up from 90. They did, she did her spring collection. I don't know if it had a name on it or not, but her spring collection is this really pretty kind of flowery collection of spring colors with this really pretty like multi-chrome kind of flakies in it. So I picked up 3, and this is the first one that I've worn. This one is called Marigold. This is such an interesting color. So the swatches that I saw of this initially were making it look a little bit more, and the name Marigold makes me think that it's a little bit more of like a orangey color. So I was expecting this to be a little bit more orange. And so when I got it, it's actually more, it's kind of similar to Vanderbilt, where it's more of just this like kind of dusty, yellow color with like a slight bit of orange. So I was a little disappointed when I first saw the bottle, just because I was expecting it to be a little bit more orange. But once I got it on the nail, I actually really ended up enjoying it, even though it wasn't the color I had anticipated it being. It's still got a little bit of orange in it, so it definitely, you know, kind of, it still looked really nice, even though it wasn't the color I had anticipated. But I think what really sells this polish is this gorgeous, these gorgeous flakies that you get in the bottle. They're just so pretty, and they just really add such a unique quality to the polish that I just ended up loving this. I wore this for several days because I wore it on a Friday, and so I ended up wearing it through the weekend. And like I said, when I got it and I saw it, I thought I wasn't going to like it, but the fact that I ended up keeping it on several more days, and I'm pretty sure I got like a couple compliments on this color, so I would definitely suggest this, even though it wasn't necessarily what I thought it was going to be. I was really pleasantly surprised with it, and I can't wait to wear the other 2. I need to get them on my nails soon because, oh, next thing you know, it's going to be, you know, summer. It's already like 90 degrees outside here, so sooner, I feel like summer's gonna be fast approaching, and then I'm not gonna be able to wear any of these spring colors anymore, so I need to get those on my nails very soon. So that is it, guys. I will do the rest another day because we're gonna be already over 30 minutes as per usual. So I hope you guys are doing well. I'm feeling a little bit better. Last video I was like super cranky, so I apologize now, since I'm probably gonna put this video up first. I've been having a really hard time lately with life, so I feel like I was a little cranky the other day, so I apologize for that. But I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm hoping things are, you know, moving along. I don't want to talk about the same crap in this video, but yeah, work's just been busy and life's been busy, and oh, I'm ready for summertime, ready for some vacation, and I'm ready to start like having more time to do my nails. I'm really missing doing my stamping, but I just don't have time. I just don't have time in the evening anymore to paint my nails because I've had to like, the cats at night have been driving me insane. I talked about this in the last video, so I don't want to like talk about it too much, but the boys have just been like terrors in the evening, so they're just not letting us sleep through the night. They're waking up like multiple times, and so instead of painting my nails at night, I'm still painting my nails, but I don't have as much time to be painting my nails at night because now I'm like really focused on playing with the cats and trying to tire them out so that they'll sleep a couple hours in the evening. They're getting better. They're at least sleeping a couple hours, but they're still waking me up at like 3:30 in the morning and just running around like crazy people. So I've been having a really rough time. I'm just not getting a lot of sleep, and I'm tired and I'm exhausted, and I want to be doing all this cool nail art, and I barely have time to be painting my nails. So I'm a little bit in a frustrated place right now, but hopefully you guys can understand. But at least I'm getting nail polish on my nails. I'm really excited about this polish that I put on today. It's from Femme Fatale. It's this really cool thermal polish that if you saw my Instagram, I featured it the other day. It's really cool. It's just, this is what it looks like in its warm state. Because like I said, it's like 90 degrees today. So it's like super hot in my house because I refuse to put the air conditioning on because it's still May and not July, so it's hot as caca in here. But yeah, it's this really cool thermal. It's got a bunch of glitter in it, and it changes over to a black polish when it's cold. Not necessarily a you know, polish I wear this time of year because I don't wear black, but I just thought the something about clear thermals just get me. I can't say no to a polish that goes from like cold to warm, and it's like a clear polish. Anyway, I'm talking too long. I hope you guys are doing well. I will talk to you next time.